good day, viewers. You're welcome to Science Spectrum with Don. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Chemistry 189, the fundamentals of chemistry. And this will be the fourth part of the first lecture in Introduction to Chemistry. And of course, in today's class, we'll talk about the classification of matter. Now, the behavior of matter, right, is simply the heart of chemistry. This is the heart of chemistry. Studying or understanding how matter behaves, right, by seeing inside of matter. That's getting to know matter's composition, its structure. This is simply the heart of chemistry. With this, new and exciting products are being synthesized. All right, natural phenomenon are being explained, and of course, lots of experiments are being carried out. Now, what is matter? Matter is simply the physical material of the universe. Okay, matter comprises of the physical material of the universe, right? These materials could be animates, okay, materials that have life in them, plants or animals. It could be animates or inanimates. So that's matter. So we see matter all around us, from the food you eat, from the air you breathe, from the water you drink, the sun, the stars, you yourself, you matter, right? So just think about it. Everything we see all around us, the vegetation, all constitutes matter. Now, we could just give this brief definition of matter, okay? We could say matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. So matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. And of course, it may interest you to know that some materials, we call matter, some might be invisible. Take for instance air. Air occupies space. It has mass, but it's quite invisible to us. Now, there are ways in which we classify matter, right? So we classify matter based on two things. There are two criteria, by which we classify matter. So the criteria, for classifying matter, classifying matter. All right. So the first criteria is based on the physical states of matter. It's based on the physical states, right, of matter. And what are the physical states of matter? They are the solid, the liquid, and the gaseous states of matter, okay? Solid, liquid, and just say gas, okay? And gas. These are the three states of matter. And the second criteria for classifying matter is based on their composition. Its composition. Composition implies the kind of, or I'll use the word kind of their atoms. The kinds of each of their atoms. Okay, the kinds of each atoms. Molecules, the kinds of each atoms, molecules or ions, okay, that constitutes matter. This is the second criteria. And of course, going by this criteria, we could classify matter based on its composition, you know, as either elements. What are elements? Elements are simply substances, you know, with the same kind of atoms all through. So take a substance and you quantify that its atoms are identical all through. It could be in shape, in size and density. That is an element, right? That's an element. So this could be elements, and of course when you have two or more elements that are glued together by bonds, okay, we call that compounds. And lastly, you could have mixtures. So these are the two ways by which we classify matter. All right, now let's start off with the first way we classify matter. All right, you need to beam this for a while. So the first way and also this, I need to wipe this off in a moment. So the first way we classify matter is based on its states, right? So let's talk about that in a moment. All right, I need to go ahead and clean up, right? All right. So the first classification of matter, that's the states, physical states of matter. Physical states of matter. All right. Physical states of matter. All right. So we know that matter exists in three physical states. It could be as a solid substance, a liquid substance, or a gaseous substance. Now, what distinguishes the three states of matter is simply how their atoms or molecules, okay, how close they are. All right. Now we start with the solid substance. So we have the solid materials, right? Solid. By the way, there are two types of solid substances. Now I may need to stress the word substance, okay, to us. Now, even if I explain this to us, the word substance, okay, or at times we use the word pure substance. This is simply a particular kind of matter, right, with a definite or fixed composition. So this is a particular kind of matter, with a definite and fixed composition. This is what we call a pure substance. And of course, elements and compounds, okay, and compounds come into this category, and compounds come into this category. All right, now the first physical state of matter is the solid substance, right? Now, how do we identify solid substances? We identify solid substances, okay, based on the fact that there are particles, that cling rigidly to one another. So we identify solid substances, okay, based on the facts, okay, that there are particles cling rigidly to one another. This is how we identify solid materials. And I need to make a drawing of this, all right? Now, this also implies that, okay, this implies, okay, that the force of attraction, okay, that exists between its particles, that exists between its particles is strongest. Alright, I need to beam that for a while. So the force that exists between its particles is strongest. Alright? And of course, this gives a solid substance a definite volume and of course a definite shape. Alright, so I'm going to need to make a drawing. This is now we represent the particles, which could be either atoms, molecules, or ions, with spherical balls. So when you see a sphere, a spherical ball, just one, this is indicating an atom of an element, okay? And when I make two spherical balls, I fit two similar or different atoms together. So when you have a cluster of the same kind or of different atoms, cluster of atoms, we call this a molecule, right? And when an atom becomes electrically charged, which implies it is either electron rich or electron deficient, we call that an ion. So this is how we identify atoms, and this is how we identify, okay, molecules, right? When an atom, okay, has an excess of either the negative, right, or it has an excess of the positive charge, we call this, an ion. These are called wanderers, okay, so to speak. All right, now I would want to represent the particles that makes up solid substances, okay, with their atoms, okay, with their atoms. So the atoms cling rigidly, right, to one another. So these are the particles, okay? These are the particles of a solid substance, right? Solid substance, okay? All right? Now, there is a force of attraction that exists between the atoms in a solid substance, right? And that force of attraction is strongest, okay? This gives a solid substance a definite shape. So you could see a definite shape here. There is a definite shape. There is a definite shape. There is a definite shape. A definite shape and volume. Now, by the way, solid substances, right? They are of two kinds. We could have the crystalline. There is a crystalline solid. There is a crystalline, and we have amorphous. We have amorphous solid substances. Amorphous solids, okay? Now, what are crystalline solids? They are solids, okay, whose atoms have an ordered geometric arrangement. For example, you find metals in this category. You find metals, right? You find salts, right? You find sugar in this category. Amorphous substances or solids, they are solid materials whose atoms do not have a well-ordered geometric arrangement. So you find glass in this category, of course, and also you find plastics in this category, and of course you find gels, and the list could just go on and on like that. Now, we've seen right in our own very eyes that solid materials could either be crystalline or amorphous. So when we talk about the compressibility of the particles that makes up a solid substance, right? So the compressibility of particles that, or in a solid substance, is very slightly. All right. For the sake of time, I may need to wrap it up here. If you're new to the channel, you want to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.